Hey everyone, Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here, your host of Light at the End of the Funnel podcast. And we are so excited for the year 2024. This is going to be season 3 of Light at the End of the Funnel podcast. And we've got some great surprises in store for you guys this year. So, we're going to be talking about all things digital disruption, entrepreneurship, transformation, leadership, and of course, we're going to bring in the new and the amazing when it comes to technology in the online space. So, you're not going to just be hearing from me, your host, but we are also going to be bringing in some of the brightest minds when it comes to the digital space this year. So, stay tuned for more information on who's coming in and what they're speaking about, and more on what we are also speaking about as the light at the end of the funnel. So, if you guys haven't yet, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other podcast platforms that you love, and share to those that you know will get tons of value from this podcast. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in there. Hey everyone, Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here, your host of Light at the End of the Funnel podcast, and I am so excited you guys are listening in or watching, because we do have this going on live stream, for the first episode of 2024 as we step into season 3 for Light at the End of the Funnel. So this is going to be a really interesting year for everybody, not just for us here at Light at the End of the Funnel and then our main company, Influence Builder, but it's going to be an interesting year for everyone. And I kind of like it. I kind of like where things are going. I'm just going to say it. And I think there's so much possibility this year. And with that in mind, with possibility in mind, I am seeing a little bit of a trend already here. I know we're like a week into 2024, right? But I am definitely seeing a trend. And that trend is it's two ways. The first way I see is that buyers or online buyers are looking for more customization. There's a lot of reasons why they are. I would say a big one is that there's just a lot of choices. There's a lot of choices out there. And the same thing last year, there was a lot of choices then, but now we have another layer. We have another layer of AI generated content, videos. And so there is definitely the need for people to feel like they're seen, heard, and understood, whether it's you or it's your AI that's building it out. So I am definitely seeing that as a theme. There's wanting that customization. There's also another layer that I'm noticing, which is that it, everyone's having a unique challenge. Like the challenge is that a lot of these corporations, companies, and even individual entrepreneurs and coaches, consultants, what have you, are facing is that their challenges, while they could be umbrellaed under the same theme, they are now unique. There's unique perspectives on it. And again, I think that the influx of people in the online space over the last couple of years, I think AI, I think that there's a lot of things that are just changing, and with change comes um, a unique set of challenges. And so I want to talk about how to work with this in the digital space. So yeah, here's a quick three step or three bullet points that I want to cover, which is identifying those unique challenges for your prospects and having that customized solution. So one of the things I did notice when I was doing my research on the things to come for 2024 when it came to digital marketing is that there is such a need for more of a general, not a general viewpoint, but an overarching generalization when it comes to what you can offer in digital marketing specifically. So it actually, if you know a lot of different things, digital marketing, and you have the ability to solve problems within that space, and you're actually in really good shape, which is different because usually what we're hearing is that the niche is, or the rich is in the niche. And so I'm actually hearing the opposite, which is great. You know, either it's going to be really interesting to see where things go. But what I take from that is that everything's changing, and so you got to have a strong baseline. You have to have a strong foundation, which yes, you do. So that is actually I'm seeing that cross over into multiple different disciplines and within industries and all of that. So it's going to be interesting in this year with that. So first thing, identifying unique challenges and custom solutions. Um, Second one, innovative engagement techniques for digital platforms. So how we engage with people this year in the digital space is it's going to change. It needs to be different. It needs to be innovative. Of course, I love that. Disruptive, right? Um, and then there's this other underlying piece that this is this is a big reason why this podcast is called Light at the End of the Funnel is because mindset. Because mindset is so huge when it comes to building a business, to scaling a business or a corporation, to changing things. You gotta use your mindset. But there's another piece to this, which is that because things are changing, they're changing so rapidly and quickly, even more so than they were even a couple of years ago. It is really important to not just have, a healthy mindset and, resilience and using all the techniques that you have, but also to build and leverage a disruptive mindset, which is it's a completely another angle to what we've learned when it comes to having an entrepreneurial mindset. So now, now I want to talk about building and leveraging a disruptive mindset. So I'm going to go through these really quick, guys, because I like to stay under 15 minutes if I can. So first and foremost, first bullet point, identifying unique challenges and custom solutions. It is really important to do some research, to do some deep research when it comes to your prospects. Doesn't matter if you've had these prospects for years, you still want to understand what is going on with them, especially as we move into 2024. So, research is really important. I always recommend research. And a lot of times, what I find is that when people are doing just research and not necessarily running interviews and coming right out and asking, they find out a lot more about their prospects. So, research is going to be really important. So, doing deep research, there's a lot of tools out there that can help you do that, but it doesn't hurt to find your own system and utilize your own skill set when it comes to research. So, you know, if you guys took any science classes, like I took tons of them, research was a big key component of those. And even if you didn't, researching online, because there's so much available to us now, you can do a lot more of it in less time. Um, so the second thing within identifying unique challenges and custom solutions is to also emphasize the power of personalized solutions um, when it comes to what you're doing. So your specific solution, identifying what that is with your ideal clients and how that relates to their pain points is really important. It's your differentiator. So we all have aspects that makes us really different, but being able to communicate that effectively and to put that out there in a way that shows an ideal client that you not only understand the challenge, but you have something that you your solution is more personalized to that very thing they're going through. And so this is where storytelling can be really great. Customer testimonials can really be helpful because it really does play to that. We have a solution that either we've personally gone through the challenge of what you're challenged with, or we've had clients that have gone through the challenges that you're currently going through and we help them through. So it's that more personalized solution. It's that uniqueness in what you offer and what you know and what your expertise is and the experiences that you've had and bringing that into your marketing and sales. So that's going to be imperative as well. And so all those things together makes it really, really powerful when you step out into the digital online space and you start uh, just communicating that, putting it out in your social media posts, having interviews. Um, you know, anytime you talk to somebody on a sales call and just being really good at asking the right questions and listening and having an answer that really does answer the challenge that they're having, but also backs it with completely understand had a situation like that before for myself, for our company, or my client has and this is what they were challenged with, very similar to you. This is what we did and these are the results they had. So that's going to be really helpful for you guys in terms of digital marketing and sales. So next one, innovative engagement techniques for digital platforms, for online platforms. So um, It's time to be unconventional. a a little bit unconventional, right? Um, Another way of saying disruptive is unconventional. I love it. So explore unconventional methods when it comes to how you are engaging with people on digital platforms. So does that mean that anything you did last year you can't do this year? No, it doesn't. It just means that how are you going to stand out and how are you relating to your ideal clients as you stand out? So I gave a really good example earlier today as I was on my sales calls, and I just gave one of my prospects a really good idea. I'm like, well, if you thought about doing this whenever you're reaching out to somebody in the cold email, just because if you think about what's going on in your ideal prospect's day, they're getting 100 of these emails. You're getting 100 of these emails, and you want them to see your email, but you don't want them to forget your email. So what is it that you can do in your email that you're pretty sure nobody else is going to be able to do? Because one, it's something that's you. So quirkiness is really important in this. And two, it's something that most people don't even think to put into this type of cold email. And that's something that's very unconventional. It's a methodology that's based on something that people are doing, but you've put your own unique spin on it. Um, and so that was a fun conversation, of course. But it's really important to be doing these things all the time on your digital platforms and digital marketing. So you also really want to highlight the role that your creative content has in the online space. So what does that mean? Your content gets to be different. It gets to be creative. It gets to be you. It gets to be interactive. There's all these emerging tools that can support you in this AI, right? AI is really great for this. And this is all to grab audience attention, right? So the things that the things that are the psychological tricks and triggers have been done. They've been done. So we're moving into an online digital stage where hmm, all the things that used to work no longer work. Now what? And that's really what we're looking at for 2024. I think we were dealing with it in 2023 too, but that's what we're dealing with. And so it could, some people may think it's a bad thing. I actually think it's a wonderful opportunity to be even more creative. So that's another one. All right. And so here's another thing that's really great is being able to have insights. Have insights in what's really going on with your ideal client. And it's really interesting as I talk to some of my prospects and they're coming from the speaker space and wanting to get on more stages and just going over some of the things they've done in the past. I'm like, well, do you have KPIs and do you have metrics to support your next pitch? So from your last speaking gig to the one that you're pitching next, what are your KPIs? What are your metrics? What are the things that you can use to really showcase the skill set you have as a speaker to this next audience that um, maybe nobody else is doing? Same thing goes for influencers. When I talk to my creators and my influencers, what are the KPIs and the metrics that you have from your last project that can be really insightful and helpful for your next one? And are you showcasing that? So you want to have those insights, you want to have those metrics and those KPIs as you are continuing on your sales journey in the online space because they do make a difference. It does set you apart from everyone else. So start setting yourself apart with your KPIs and metrics. Okay, so building and leveraging that disruptive mindset. I love this one. Mindset is huge in entrepreneurship, in business ownership, in life in general. So you really want to understand that resilience, yes, is really important. It's okay when people say no. Get excited about people saying no to you. Start doing that. But also, it's really important to celebrate those small steps into bigger wins. And as you're going along, you don't have to sit there and have a party every time you achieve something small, but acknowledgement is important. Acknowledgement from, hey, today I'm a better version today than I was yesterday, and that's a win for me. And those small pieces end up being bigger transformations. You really want to start acknowledging your smaller wins before you move on to the next step. Wow, I did a better job today than I did yesterday. Awesome. I'm going to keep moving forward. And even on those days where it doesn't feel like you've made any progress, I'm certain that if you sit down long enough, you can find some. So you want to have that. You want to have a resilient and a transformational mindset as you're building your business and building your career, right? Also, when it comes to your clients and your prospects and your following, it's not a bad thing to talk about the hiccups. In fact, it is so needed, where often as entrepreneurs, founders, coaches, is that we often go through things that we feel like nobody else is going through or nobody else would understand, but it's the very thing that you don't think anyone's going to get is the thing that everybody else is going through and really wants to know that somebody else is going through it and how to get through it, or that they're gonna get through it. And so sharing that from a place of um, being a mentor or teacher is imperative. You don't have to share all the stuff that's happening when you're in a rut if you don't want to, but you can share what happens, what you did to get out of it, and just that, we're not alone in this. And so here's the last thing when it comes to a disruptive mindset is that I want you guys to just take this one home with you. But I want to talk about risk and how there's certain things that you can do on a daily basis that may feel scary or risky. And there's there's a time to pull back and there's a time to move forward. And we're really moving into a time to move forward, which is it riskier to not do the things that you really want to do, to be disruptive, for example, to try new things, for example? Is it riskier to try those things? Or is it going to be riskier for you to stand still or stand where you are? And it comes down to this is that when you're taking a risk, always take the risk on you. You're not taking a risk on a new AI or a new program or a new model. You're taking a risk on how you can achieve bigger outcomes while using that. You're actually never taking a risk on a program or person. You're taking a risk on you and how you handle any given situation. So having the mindset that I'm always going to be taking a risk on me because this is the greatest growth that I can have is going to help you as you move into change. So I hope that supports you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And don't forget to subscribe and share, whether you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform or you're watching it live. I really appreciate the love and the shares. All right, everyone. Bye for now. Hey everyone, Danielle Fitzpatrick-Clark here, and thank you again for joining us for another episode of Light at the End of the Funnel. And so as you guys are into the new year and you're planning out your marketing and your sales and all the steps that you want to take during this upcoming year and throughout the year, I'd love for you guys to go ahead and follow me on our social media platform. So you can follow me on LinkedIn, which is where we are very, very active. You can look up Danielle Fitzpatrick-Clark. That will bring up me. I am the only one that I know of right now. Also, you can follow us on Facebook by looking up Influence Builder. We have a group there. You guys can join that. And you guys definitely want to. You want to stay up to date with what we're up to because we've got a lot of great things that are coming into play in 2024. Really excited. Lots of events, lots of in-person events, and lots of really cool partnerships as you're building out your business. If you're building out your speaking platforms, if you're building out your influencer platforms, if you're just building out your social media platforms so that you can be the standout thought leader in your industry, you definitely want to follow us. We got some really great things coming into play, and then even more amazing people coming into Light at the End of the Funnel podcast that we're interviewing, and our other sister podcasts as well. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your 2023, and cheers to 2024. Bye for now.